I'm the Mythology guy, and seeing as my last two reviews were of things heavily based on Greek mythology, I figured it was about time we took a look at something based on Egyptian mythology. So, what do we got? No, buddy, I said Egyptian mythology. Do those guys look Egyptian to you? Come on, man. This guy. What?
Set has taken over Egypt.
What?
It's an honor for me to sit in the same room with two gods.
I know.
Oh no. Stupid off-screen guy who isn't really there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it seems today we will be looking at the infamous schlockbuster known as Gods of Egypt. And yeah, we should probably start off by addressing the elephant in the room.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Look, I could give the movie a pass if this were like a product of its time or something, but this came out in 2016. How are you unable to cast people who at least looked like they were Egyptian? And before anybody gets mad at me for saying that, I apply that standard both ways. If the movie was called Celtic Gods, I would expect the characters to look Celtic. If the movie was called Japanese Gods, I would expect the characters to look Japanese. This movie's poster is basically an oxymoron. The whole premise has already failed before the movie even came out. This, of course, resulted in a pretty big controversy, which led the director to say some pretty stupid things online. People who actually saw the movie have described it as one of the worst films of all time. Is it really that bad, though? Well, let's dive into it and find out. Here's Gods of Egypt.
Few know the whole story. From what I recall, it goes something like this.
Oh, I see the movie takes place in that lesser-known part of Egypt where everyone had British accents. Seriously, what the hell?
But there was no mistaking the gods amongst the mortals who worshipped them. The gods were taller, with gold running through their veins instead of blood.
Well, actually, gods bleeding gold is really more of a Greek mythology thing, but hey, it helps us keep that PG-13 rating. Basically, this movie makes a whole bunch of changes from Egyptian mythology. In this film, Osiris and Set are children of Ra, instead of being descended from Ra and being children of Nut and Geb, because why include more Egyptian gods in a movie called Gods of Egypt?
But then the time came for Osiris to crown a new king, his only son, Horus.
Also, Horus is already a full-grown man while his father is still alive, because I guess a character who was raised and trained his entire life with the sole purpose of avenging his father is not nearly as interesting as some spoiled trust fund kid who sleeps around a lot. We're then shown a big opening shot showcasing just how awesome Egypt currently is, and we're introduced to one of our main characters, Aladdin. Yes, I know he has a name, but this is just Aladdin.
Thief! I steal only what I can't afford. That's everything.
He runs home to discount Jasmine, and they proceed to list lots and lots of exposition to each other.
I need to buy some ribbon to even begin to make it suitable for the coronation. We're blessed the gods shall give us a new king in our lifetime.
Horus, you know I couldn't care less about the gods.
Well, they care about you.
Oh yeah?
Beck, give it back.
I knew you wanted to wear something special.
Did you steal it from a shopkeeper or from someone's closet?
It was quicker than waiting for the gods to answer my prayers. Zaya, when I asked you to run away with me, I promised you a good life. Dresses worthy of a princess, a new one every day. Rivers of jewels to adorn you, a golden palace to raise our family.
And how many children would we have?
Look, if you're not gonna try to sound Egyptian, can you at least try to sound human? We then get introduced to Horus and, wait, what's going on here? Is that a bad camera angle? Why do they look so... Oh no, that's intentional. Yeah, so apparently in this movie, the gods are much bigger than the human characters. I guess I get what they're going for, trying to make the gods easily identifiable as opposed to the humans, and also giving them a sense of grandeur and making them feel more powerful. But here's the problem. It looks ridiculous! Anytime there's a scene with a god and a mortal together, I just want to burst out laughing. It doesn't look powerful, it looks so cartoony and awkward. But anyway, we also get introduced to Hathor, and if you thought the dialogue between the other two was unnatural, listen to this.
Hard to believe, but you look like a king.
If that's what excites you, who am I to judge?
Jewelry excites me.
Then look to your wrist if the effort is not too great. The bracelet of 42 stars to remind you of the demons I slayed for you. A more valuable treasure Egypt has never known.
Who does that? Seriously, what kind of narcissist goes out of his way to point out and describe a gift he got for someone to that person?
This is an awesome party, man.
Yeah, you know what else is awesome? That watch you got right there on your wrist. I gave you that last year.
Yeah, I was there, I know.
Yeah, but, you know, it's also a limited edition Apple Pro watch.
I know, I've had it for some time now.
You know, that thing is super expensive. Most stores don't even carry that anymore. Did you know you can even use that thing to tell time? And wait, where are you going?
It's not worth it!
We then cut to Horus's coronation, which several gods are attending, including, holy crap, an actual black guy! Quick, take a picture! There's no telling when we'll see another one of these! In Egypt! You may also notice that absolutely none of the gods have animal heads, because hey, why include one of the most unique and recognizable thing about Egyptian gods in a movie called Gods of Egypt? There are statues in the background of Ra with his falcon head, and yet Ra never has a falcon head in this movie. What the hell? Also, look, sometimes the designs and costumes in this movie are actually pretty cool. But was it too much to ask that the crowns look like Egyptian crowns rather than European ones? Buddy, accuracy was literally a 5-second Google search away. But before Osiris has a chance to crown his son king, in comes his brother, Set, played by Gerard Butler. Oh boy, is he also gonna have a British accent?
Set. Brother. Good to see you. And you, brother. Oh, 3 days to cross the desert? And nearly one more to pass through all your admirers.
Sir, people seem to be upset that the gods have British accents. What? Why? Well, it seems the people were expecting Egyptian characters to sound like Egyptians. Why would they expect that? No idea, sir, but we need to do something. Should we change the accents? No, then we'd have to do reshoots. Who have we not started recording for yet? Gerard Butler? Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll have Gerard read his lines with a Scottish accent. Why Scottish? Because that way, it's not British. Brilliant. In all seriousness, though, Gerard Butler is actually one of the more entertaining things in this film. At least he seems like he's having fun.
It's fun to play the villain.
So then Set turns against his family because... honestly, I have no idea. I mean, as soon as he's introduced, it's immediately established that he has a great relationship with both his brother and his nephew. But then, all of a sudden, he just wants to kill them both. Why?
Fight me.
Father, don't.
Stay out of this, son. Why? In 1,000 years of peace, what have you accomplished?
I mean, did you not see the big opening shots showing off all of Egypt? It looks pretty good.
A land of people who dream of nothing more. It's my turn now.
Oh, so you're upset because the people are happy and not actively seeking out conflict for no reason? What is this, Twitter? Look, admittedly, the myths didn't exactly give Set any deep motivation either, but with all the changes you've already made, that's the kind of change that would have been very much appreciated. Also, the myths at least knew how to make Set interesting. In the myths, Set knows he can't defeat Osiris in an open fight, so he finds a way to outsmart him using his deviousness, and he kills him through trickery. And that kind of maniacal brilliance that he has is likely what made all the other gods too scared to challenge his rule. But in this movie, Set openly challenges Osiris to a fight in front of all of Egypt and all of the gods. There's no point in this movie where Set's wisdom or deviousness or trickery is ever shown in any way. It's just disappointing. So they spout off more pointless exposition.
You recognize it?
father gave it to you.
Yes, thank you for that. That added absolutely nothing, by the way. And then Set just casually stabs Osiris and kills him. You know you done something wrong when death by box is the more interesting version. So Set takes over, and he announces that from now on, in order to get into the afterlife, you're going to have to buy your way in. But you don't rule over the underworld, so how are you going to enforce that law? Heck, in the myth after Osiris died, he took over the underworld. How much research did these people do? Hey, look, Set has his wasp scepter. That's something. So then Set and Horus fight, and absolutely none of these dozens of gods try to help him, even though it was established that they were all loyal to Osiris. Like, seriously, what is your deal?
Many of us will stand with you, but now is not the time.
Why not?
That would be unwise.
Why?
Is it true you still never miss?
Hello? But while Set and Horus are fighting, Set utilizes Horus's one weakness: shiny objects. So then we finally get some usage of the animal head imagery in the form of Horus and Set going armored beast mode. Okay, so some people thought this was cool, some people thought this was stupid. Personally, I think it's kinda cool, but there's still a lot of missed opportunity here. First off, I would have much preferred they actually look animalistic rather than looking all metal and stuff. Second, Set isn't even red when he takes his true form. He's looking a lot more like Anubis right now. Third, in the myths, Set has the power to take the form of every single animal known to man, and some not known to man. There are actually some creatures associated with Set that have never been accurately identified. How cool would it be if Set was constantly changing forms during his action scenes, and sometimes turning into beasts we didn't recognize or understand? How much would that add to the world? How much would that add to the mystery of his character? It would also, again, probably explain why the other gods would be too scared of him to rise against him, because they don't know what to expect from him. I really wish we could have gotten something like that here. Horus tries to defeat Set, but the power of shiny objects is too much for him. God, this is stupid. So Set defeats Horus and rips out his eyes, but before he can kill him, Hathor offers herself to Set in exchange for Horus's life.
And so, Set was king. In the year that followed, many gods stood against him. One by one, they paid with their lives.
Well, why didn't those gods do something during the actual battle when they had a better opportunity? God damn it, movie! So yeah, about a year has gone by, and our two mortal characters are coming up with a plan to steal back Horus's eyes.
Found it.
The treasure will pass through the front gate.
The front gate isn't the problem. It's what comes after. 2 bridges rigged with traps.
Cut! Okay, great job, guys, but we're gonna try that just one more time because I have an idea. Now, I'd like you to this time sound like you care about what you're saying. Could you do that for me? We're paying you a lot of money to act, not just read the lines out loud. Hey, look, there's a red glow on Set. That's something. Not even sure if that's intentional. So now we get a scene where Set goes to bed with Hathor. Good for him. And then Hathor picks up a knife and has it right next to his neck and doesn't just stab him and kill him with it. Come on, Hathor. Right there. Come on. There's your opportunity. Just stab him. Come on. Stab him. Stab him. What's wrong with you? Is Set just that good in bed?
So if you had the chance, you'd kill me.
How could I kill you?
Well, it's actually very simple, Hathor. See, the first step is to acquire a nearby edged weapon. A good example of an effective edged weapon is the one currently very conveniently located in your hand. Once you have possession of said edged weapon, which you do, the next step is to simply take it and shove it directly into the jugular of your target. Your target's current jugular can conveniently be found mere inches away from the tip of your current edged weapon. Now, You are perhaps wondering, wait, my target is a god. How do I know that doing so would kill him? Well, I respond to that by referring you to an earlier scene that you yourself witnessed in this very movie, where another god of similar power was instantly very easily killed by a very similar edged weapon. You goddamn moron! So, Aladdin sneaks by some bad CGI elephants, does some bad CGI parkour, and lands in some bad CGI treasure. That's the best take you had for that? That's unfortunate. He then figures out that the circle in the center is the trigger for the traps, so he avoids stepping on it, but then the circle just presses itself, because reasons. But he manages to dodge all the traps and get the eye. He then heads back to his girlfriend, but apparently Set's followers are onto them. So they take away his valuables, but before they can kill him, he uses Horus's eye to radiate bright lights at them and escape. Well, that raises a few questions. First of all, why didn't he do that earlier, like before they took away his valuables? Second, why are you taking the time to kiss her? Get the heck out of there! Third, how does he even know how to make the eye do that? You couldn't have maybe put in a scene where he's figuring that out, maybe on the way over to her? Fourth, the eyes of Horus can radiate insanely bright lights, but when shiny objects are reflected at them, they can't handle it? What? So they escape via painfully obvious green screen.
He did it! Where's the other?
You know how hard it was to steal that one?
What do you have against second takes? But then Zaya gets shot and dies. Oh no, not her. And then Aladdin gets to Osiris's tomb, which admittedly looks pretty cool, where he finally encounters Horus. Aladdin tells Horus he'll give him back his eye if he can save Zaya from death. Then we cut to outside for like 5 seconds right before just cutting right back to inside. Did Tommy Wiseau take over direction there? But apparently it's too late to save Zaya, so Anubis comes for her and... holy crap! Anubis actually looks and acts exactly how I would expect him to. In fact, Anubis in this movie is actually a pretty perfect adaptation of Anubis from Mythology. Where the hell was this kind of stuff the whole movie? So Horus takes his eye back, but then he sort of out of nowhere threatens to kill Aladdin because he doesn't have the other eye, even though he never said that he did?
The pyramid! I know how to get into Set's pyramid!
How? How? Oh.
Okay, that was a little funny. So the two make a deal. If Aladdin helps Horus overthrow Set and become the king, Horus will then use that authority to bring Zaya back from the dead. Meanwhile, Set talks to his followers.
You, my legions of the desert, will bring them reckoning! So take your fill of gold! And if you should fall in battle and travel the 9 gates, tell my brother who it is you worship!
Wait, tell your brother? Is Osiris ruling the underworld right now? What is going on? Horus tells Aladdin that they need to go to Ra for help. However, he cannot transform and get to Ra because he does not have both of his eyes. So he prays to Ra to give him the power temporarily, which Ra apparently does.
Impressed!
I think you mean impressive. Or I'm impressed. If you're gonna give the characters English accents, can they at least speak proper English? So they fly up to Ra's sun barge, and again, this admittedly looks pretty cool. Plus, I really like the added detail that it's apparently so hot up on the sun barge that if Aladdin steps out of Horus's shadow, he instantly gets burnt. That's cool, that makes sense. But Ra says there's danger approaching, so he takes his true form, a slightly larger version of himself! Lame. Though the sun orbiting a flat Earth is honestly really cool. And you know what's coming up. Ra's legendary enemy, Apophis, the Crimson Cobra of Chaos! Or a giant worm space cloud.
What is it with this era and evil clouds?
The number of times this movie starts to do something cool, but then does something stupid, is honestly infuriating. Ugh, whatever. So, Ra allows Horus to take some of the waters of creation so that he may use them to quench Set's fire, rendering him powerless. We then cut to a big battle scene because it turns out Set has been fighting a war against a god rebellion off-screen. Gee, that sounds like a way better movie! Apparently Set's ex-wife Nephthys is leading this rebellion for reasons that are never really explained, but I can't tell who any of these other gods are supposed to be, because why put effort into Egyptian gods in a movie called Gods of Egypt? Set then enters the battle and showcases some absolutely laughable CGI, but hey, on the bright side, we are about to see Set take on 6 Egyptian gods all at once. This ought to be good. Or over in about 11 seconds and showcasing absolutely no godly powers whatsoever. Man, they truly know what myth fans want to see. Also, I'm no fight choreographer, but you might want to have your strikes actually look like they're connecting when you do action scenes. We then see that Nephthys has spent this entire battle employing the courageous strategy of sitting and watching it through a window. What a hero.
Is it right that a goddess should perform such labor?
What labor? So they talk for a bit, and then Nephthys very slowly stands up, very slowly spreads her wings, and then tries to escape. Idiot. Shockingly, that strategy does not work, as Set simply grabs one of her wings, very lightly tosses her against the floor, and then she's completely out of it and incapacitated. Just want to remind everyone, that was essentially a battle between 2 gods. I do like how her wings change after being cut off to something culturally accurate, but that is not gonna save this scene. We then get an admittedly funny scene where Horus does what I've been wanting to do for the past hour.
What's this?
So you don't have to bring me something to drink cupped in your hands.
I'm not your slave.
My father taught me it's unworthy of a god to strike a man.
He should have taught you to get off your ass and get your own water.
Sorry, father.
Please play that again. Thank you. But then the 2 of them are attacked by bad CGI, and then we get a bad CGI battle scene. Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Also, turns out apparently these CGI guys and also these 2 girls, basically all these minions of Set, are actually other Egyptian gods, even though none of them seem to represent any actual Egyptian gods, because why utilize actual Egyptian gods in a movie called Gods of Egypt?
Well, that didn't go according to plan, did it?
No, Lord. Horus has agreed to bring the mortal's woman back from death.
Are you sure?
I'm certain of it, Lord.
You should have trusted us with this from the start.
Haven't we always left you satisfied?
Then satisfy me again.
I don't know whether I hate that line or love it. You guys tell me. Set then catches Hathor trying to communicate with Horus, but before he can kill her, she gets away, because apparently removing her protective bracelet results in her being pulled back into the underworld, since she used to be connected to it. Now I'll admit, I really like the visual of the hands of death pulling her into the underworld, but it still doesn't really make sense. She's still touching the protective bracelet, so shouldn't it still be protecting her? Does her arm specifically need to be in the bracelet for it to work? Like, are the sensors on the interior part of it, even though the diamonds are on the outside of it? So weird. Horus and Aladdin are then attacked by Set's minions riding 2 gigantic snakes, and the CGI on them is actually pretty good. Again, where was this earlier? Wait a minute, you have giant CGI snake models? Why didn't you recycle one of those for Apophis earlier? Come on, movie! Hathor comes to their aid during the battle, and then Set's minion says...
Pretty girl, you don't belong in battle.
What the hell are you talking about? You're a girl. What, do you not think you're pretty? Oh, don't think that way, you look great. So, Hathor defeats the snake by using her godly powers to take control of it. Yeah, I buy that, she is the goddess of love. However, when Hathor later reveals how that power works, it raises a few questions.
Get it for me. I command you.
You're all the same, aren't you?
What's her name? I can make any man, woman, god, or beast do my bidding, unless their heart belongs to another.
Oh, is that so? Well, then why don't you use that power on Set? You idiot! I'm pretty sure he wasn't in love with Nephthys.
She was your wife.
All the more reason to kill her.
Anyway, it turns out in order to get to Set's fire, they'll have to get past the riddle of the Sphinx. Hey, I got that right here. So they decide to recruit Thoth, the god of knowledge, played by the late great Chadwick Boseman. And, to be completely honest with you, I think the scene where they go to recruit Thoth is the best scene in the whole film. I love that when they get there, the place is filled with clones of Thoth because he doesn't trust anyone but himself to get things done. Also, Chadwick Boseman is clearly having a lot of fun playing the role. The only thing we're lacking is that bird head. Come on, guys, why won't you do it? Also, I love this part.
I told you I'd be the one to face the Sphinx.
Your chance of failure is overwhelming.
I'm sure. But before it kills me, I'm going to tell it that I asked the God of Wisdom to come, but he was afraid he'd get the answer wrong.
This is the cleverest strategy you could devise? Playing on my ego. How vain do you think I am?
Yes, well.
Fine. Fine!
That's a great joke! And it's a great example of show, don't tell. One of the only times in this movie they didn't feel the need to insult our intelligence by spelling everything out for us. More of that, please. So yeah, this is a good scene, this is a good joke, this is a good portrayal of Thoth, face aside, and I'm really relieved that I didn't have to say anything bad about Chadwick Boseman. Later on, Hathor helps Aladdin get a message to his girlfriend in the underworld.
Mistress, I speak to you from the land of the living. Your beloved is with me.
Beck?
Zaya, it's me!
I knew if that was the way you would find it. But I can't see you.
Listen, we can be together again. You can return.
But how?
I'm helping Horus. In return, he's going to help us.
Act! For God's sake, this is the most competitive kind of job in the world, and you're being paid maybe tens of thousands of dollars. Why won't you act? So, they finally get to the Sphinx, and the Sphinx asks its riddle.
I never was. Am always to be. No one ever saw me, nor ever will. And yet I am the confidence of all who live and breathe. What am I?
Ooh, okay. Always to be, confidence of all who live and breathe. Tomorrow. The answer is tomorrow.
Order. You are order.
No, I think it's tomorrow, Thoth.
You are purity.
Tomorrow, Thoth. Try tomorrow.
What? Never was. Always to be. In the future. Non-existent. Imaginary. Yet it exists, and never was, and always to be. Yet I am the confidence of all who live and breathe.
Yeah, and that would be tomorrow.
Wait, I have it! You are tomorrow!
There you go. You know, if I can figure this out faster than the literal god of knowledge, I think we have a problem. By the way, is there a reason Hathor doesn't just use her powers on the Sphinx? Nah, of course there isn't. Unfortunately, before they can drop the water of creation into Set's fire, Set lays a trap for them and rips Thoth's brain right out of his head. Dang. However, Aladdin is still able to drop the water into the fire, but Set tells him to stop. And he does. Idiot.
Did he tell you he could bring your woman back from death? It's not possible. Not even for me.
Just pour it in, even if he's telling the truth. Do you want Set to be in charge?
You expect me to believe you?
I don't have to lie. How else would a blind, useless god get you to help him?
Pour it in. You can have this conversation later.
Ask him.
Pour it in.
Is it true?
Back. Pour it in.
No!
You know what I'd like to see right now? Thank you. So, yeah, they don't manage to get the water of creation into Set's fire. It just gets poured right out and never utilized, meaning every single thing that happened over the past 46 minutes was completely and utterly pointless. Thanks for that, movie. I love it when my time is wasted. So, you're probably thinking, now would be a really perfect opportunity for Set to just kill all of them. I mean, they came really close to killing him, but he doesn't. He just walks right out.
Wait, aren't you even gonna watch them? They could get away.
No. I'm going to leave them alone and not actually witness them dying. I'm just gonna assume it all went to plan. What?
So our heroes escape. Yeah, who could have seen that coming? And then, because the lie is revealed, we get our standard third act breakup that I do not care about in the slightest. Especially since it's amended like 10 seconds later, when Hathor gives Aladdin her bracelet so that he may give it to Zaya, so that she may trade it for a place in the afterlife. Now, in the next scene, it's revealed that the reason Set has been taking body parts from all the gods he's been killing is so that he can have them all merged with himself.
The God of Thoth, God of wisdom, allow him knowledge of old. The heart of Osiris, grant him dominion over all lands. The all-seeing eye, reward him so no enemy can deceive.
Okay. Honestly, that's a really fun idea, in my opinion. Basically turning Set into some chimera of all the Egyptian gods. Set then flies up to talk with Ra, and we finally get some character insight into Set. Apparently, he's been doing what he's been doing because he's been trying to earn his father's respect and honor. Okay, well, again, that's kind of interesting, and I'm glad we finally got something that gave me an insight into the way Set thinks and why he's doing what he's doing. But unfortunately, when Ra doesn't respond the way Set wanted him to, Set turns on him. Ra then takes his ultimate form. Weird that he can do that without his crown, because I thought they were establishing earlier that he needed his crown in order to do that. Whatever. But apparently, the combined power of Set and the other gods is enough to defeat Ra. Set then decides to unleash Apophis on everything and just destroy the world, the afterlife, and everything he can, because villain is villainous.
Set has Ra's spear. He's drawing Apophis to the Nile, to the source of all life.
Wait, the Nile is the source of all life? I thought you said earlier the waters of creation were the source of all life. Can you pick a goddamn lane? Horus and Aladdin decide to go after Set to stop him from what he's doing. In order to do that, though, they have to get to the top of his obelisk. So they take an elevator up, but during the trip up, Horus jumps out of the elevator in order to climb up the obelisk the slower way? Why? Why did he do that? Well, when he eventually does get to the top, he faces Set. During their battle, Set just puts the spear down and moves away from it because he's an idiot, and then Horus doesn't grab the spear because he's an idiot. Aladdin manages to get Horus's other eye out of Set, and then it gets to the point where Horus has to choose between grabbing the eye or saving Aladdin. Okay, well, just go get the eye, put it in, and then your powers will come back so you can fly, and then you can save Aladdin. You can do both. You're not gonna do that, are you? Yeah, even though the eye is like 2 feet away from him and Aladdin is on the other side of the roof, and the reasons I listed a minute ago, he goes for Aladdin. This, of course, leads to them both falling down, because what else did you think was going to happen? But it's okay. Apparently Horus's powers just randomly come back to him, because it turns out the power was inside him all along.
I told you I'd steal your other eye. But you could have saved me some trouble and told me you didn't need it.
Ra showed me the way, but I didn't listen. I believed I needed my eye to transform, but my journey isn't to seek revenge at all costs. It is to protect my people.
Fuck you, movie. Fuck you. So, Horus takes on Set again, and he beats him. He couldn't beat Vanilla Set with both eyes, but he can beat Voltron Set with one eye. So yeah, Horus gives the spear back to Ra, Ra defeats Apophis, he brings Zaya back from the dead, Horus becomes king of the gods, but wait a minute, isn't Hathor still trapped in the underworld? What happened there?
You think they'd miss me if I were gone a few days?
As chief advisor to the king, it's my duty to ensure they hardly notice. But if anyone asks...
Tell them I had to go help a friend. I leave Egypt in your capable hands.
Oh! You thought you were getting a sequel! Oh, that's adorable! No, that's not happening. You go stand in the corner with Sea of Monsters and think about what you've done. So, yeah, that's pretty much the Gods of Egypt movie. What are my overall thoughts on it? Well, it's not all bad. But, like, for example, Anubis and Thoth are both done very well, but all the other gods leave much to be desired. A few of the jokes legitimately work, but the vast majority of them do not. Every now and then there's a legit creative idea, but at other times this movie's lack of creativity is infuriating. Some of the designs and CGI are pretty good, but a lot of the other CGI is terrible, and some of the design choices are either lazy or inaccurate. The action isn't anything to brag about, and the plot is something to be ashamed of. However, is it one of the worst movies of all time? I don't really think so. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's bad. Really bad. But I've seen a lot of terrible films, and I've seen way, way, way worse than this. I've seen movies with absolutely nothing redeemable about them whatsoever. This movie at least had some good stuff in it, and I could at least tell what they were going for. I honestly had a way worse time watching Sea of Monsters than this. I still have no idea what that movie was going for. Is this movie worth watching? I don't think so. But if somebody in your friend group wants to watch it, you can at least probably have fun making jokes about it like me and my friends did. The main thing that's sad about this movie is the missed opportunity. They got some things legitimately right that I really would have liked to see more of. I want to see a great mythology movie around Egypt. I want to see more of accurate Anubis. I want to see an actual intense battle between Set and Horus. How cool would it have been if the whole movie was about their war and all the different stuff that would go on during that war? Hell, you could have Game of Thrones style conflict between the different gods and trying to recruit them to each of their sides. I mean, there's so much you can do with that. How cool would it have been if Set's allies were actual other Egyptian gods that we know of? Throw Serked and Sobek in there. Come on, put Bobby on Horus's side. Like, it would have been so interesting, like, to have stuff like that happen. But unfortunately, we got a movie that thought it had to rely on dumb schlock, dumb cliches, and replacing Egyptian actors with white actors. I'm glad that's not really a thing that happens anymore. At least I hope it will remain that way. But yeah, this movie's kind of embarrassing in a lot of ways. But it really isn't the worst movie of all time. I think a lot of people say that because of the controversy, and I get it. Their decisions were really dumb. But come on, guys. There's way, way worse movies out there, and I think we can all admit that. At least there was some decent stuff in here, and at least the director has made decent movies before, and he'll probably make more decent movies in the future. Here's hoping. Well, that's about all I have to say about that, and, Halloween is coming up. Maybe I should review something Halloween-related for the next one. What's a good Halloween movie? No, what's a bad Halloween movie? Like, a really, really bad Halloween movie. Preferably maybe something that has a sequel coming up. What's a Halloween movie that kills all enjoyment it could have built up? A Halloween movie that kills. Halloween kills. I'm sure I'll think of something. I'm the Mythology Guy, and I do not know how to end videos. Hey, thanks for watching, and now it's time to thank the wonderful people on Patreon who make videos like this possible. Lilith Jade Vaughn, Sage Ty, Gilda Ramos, Mr. Man, Carrie692, Anthony Miano, CJ the Boy, Gina Adams, Justin Brown, Matthew Owen, Darkling, Gavin Lothar, Helios Fs, Zaggard, Adam, Alex, Awkward Swan, Kane Kendrick, Christopher D. Sampson II, Krill E. Dara, Dominic Fournier Bessner, Eddie, Habalon, James H., Jeff Jeffington, Cade, Lady Aaron, Lamont Stewart, Lassie Aaron Reich, Larakia, Malice, Maria Potter, Miranda Annette, Mitchell Oman, Muhammad Al Dobson, Nathaniel Frey, Riley McGee, Robert Ray, The Last, Aggie, and Mag's Story. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Couldn't do videos like this without you. If you want to join up and help make videos like this possible, get your name in the credits here, be able to message me privately, and request videos, which I will prioritize, consider becoming a supporter. But if not, I still appreciate you guys watching the video and being fans. Thanks so much for that. Bye-bye.